Hey Shemai, Sitahi Croeso Chris, Doe, what is cracking, ladies, gents, boys, girls, anybody who is anyone. Today we are talking about a book from the brilliant mind of James Krake, and that book is called Faceless. Now, Faceless is a cyberpunk murder mystery as advertised on the Amazon page. And yeah, as I said, on Amazon, you can pick it up from Amazon. It is currently £1.99 on the Kindle. Now, I purchased it on the Kindle because the Kindle is just really, really good. I thoroughly enjoy the Kindle. And then it's £9.33 paperback. And then in dollars, it's going to be probably slightly less. I'm not actually sure how books are priced in dollars on Amazon, but yeah, it's on Amazon, worth a read. And before I go into the book, I just wanted to say that I don't like cyberpunk as a genre, but I did actually really like this book. I really enjoyed it. Maybe it's just a cyberpunk sort of going from video games to literature, I don't know. But let's talk about the book, because I keep on rambling. So the book follows a detective named Elliot. Now this detective named Elliot he gave me Nick Valentine vibes from Fallout 4. He's cool, he's a badass, he's a great character, he's a fun character, and there is development throughout the story. He's a likable guy, you know, you enjoy the character. His partner, his significant other, is sort of like, she wants to be like a big streamer sort of thing, an e-celebrity, that sort of thing, you get what I mean? And you know, they sort of have, it seems to be a dysfunctional relationship, so obviously this guy's pumping all of his like time into his work kind of thing to get away from it all, and then he sort of finds himself drawn into this murder mystery, as the Amazon description says. Now, one of the big things is that this guy's wearing a void mask, and this void mask is sort of just removes your face. You are faceless, essentially. I'm guessing that's the title of the book, and it's sort of, this sort of theme runs quite prevalent throughout the book, and it sort of rears its head, but when it does, it's sort of like significant, it's nice, it's sort of, there's an ulterior sort of thing, like what are we, faceless identity, and it's cool, it's honestly really good. There's a theme like Elliot can't find this guy. Who is this guy? He has no identity. And I don't know about you guys, but for me that's quite it's quite weird, it's quite scary. It's sort of like, I always envision cyberpunk to be this, unfortunately, like massively like oppressive society where everybody has tabs on everybody at any given time, so they know if you're having a poo, and they know what you're watching on your phone, they know what you're doing, and it sort of feels like unnerving, uncomfortable to imagine somebody having no identity. And this is sort of like the feeling that Elliot has. He's sort of like oh, we actually just need to solve this, what's happening? And it's a really nice little drive for him. It drives him throughout, well, I suppose, the story. So yeah, straight off the bat, we got Elliot. He's a great character, and he actually has drive, he has ambition, he has a reason to want to pursue this case and solve it, aside from it pretty much being his job. And that's nice. It's actually nice. It's like you're sitting down having like a 3-course meal. You've had your starters. What is the main course? So the main course, without spoiling it too much, because I would actually recommend this book and I would like you guys to read it, is Elliot sort of gets dragged into this VR game. He's sort of dragged into this game, and there's a creature that he needs to slay, and it's sort of like a trial and error sort of process where he's trying to figure out how to actually slay this creature. It's very much like Groundhog Day. I think I mentioned it earlier. If not, I mentioned it in an earlier take that I've just deleted. You know, it is what it is. But I did enjoy how video games are portrayed in this world, in Cyberpunk, because I get that it matters to the story. Elliot's trying to sort of find clues as to what's happened by defeating a boss, and it's all very trial and error, but it sort of breaks up the story a bit, you know, and it's something that we can all relate to. We've all played a video game, we've all tried to beat a boss, whether it's an Elden Ring, Dark Souls, could be Skyrim, that ice troll that jumps you on the way up to the Greybeards. Love that, but I always play Stealth Archer, so I just shoot them in the bum. But you get what I mean. It's sort of nice, and it's something that we can actually relate to, which is something that I personally find when it comes down to Cyberpunk. One of the things is that it just feels oppressive and uncomfortable, and then the second one, I just can't really relate to it because I don't want to augment my body, but then I can relate to this because I played the game, and it sort of breaks up the story a little bit, so you get like nice bite-sized segments that you can just jump into, and it sort of keeps you going. It propels you through the story with Elliot. It sort of adds to the pacing, and it's quite nice. It's actually a really well-written story, a novel, a book, an e-book if you get it on the Kindle. I thoroughly enjoyed. Now, to avoid going into like the end, the spoiling everything, I'm just gonna talk you through some of the bits that I particularly enjoyed, because there's one part where Elliot sort of has to infiltrate this like I don't want to say the underclass because that makes me sound like Charles Murray, but you got the underclass, which is like sort of the dredges, the absolute, you know, the worst off of society. So we sort of go into a block of flats, an apartment kind of thing, and there's this massive robot. Now, for me personally, I started getting into Necromunda, Warhammer's Necromunda, about the same time as I started reading this book. So this massive robot sort of came off as like an ambot, and it's just badass. It's cool. It's really well written. It's really interesting as well. And I saw we can all relate to like these absolute holes of apartments where, you know, everybody living, not everyone, that's really mean, but you know there's a lot of drug use going on. You know you don't want to be there after dark. You don't feel safe, and it's just sort of relatable, and that's one of the things I keep banging on about. I find it hard to relate to Cyberpunk, but this book's sort of grounded in reality, and I love that. It's so interesting, and it just sort of adds to the believability. But it seems really intense. It's really cool. There's a robot just shooting stuff. There's like security guards being all scummy, and it's just cool. It's badass. Like I said, it's very Fallout 4-y, Fallout 3. It doesn't matter. It's very Fallout-y, and it's quite reminiscent to, in my opinion, Necromunda with the Ambot. But that's just one moment that I thoroughly enjoyed. Let's talk about another. Let's say another moment. It's just sort of like a theme and element. I did thoroughly enjoy the Voidmaster, the lack of identity, Faceless. Who is this? What is this? Because again, it feels kind of odd, and that's one of my favorite parts about the book. And I want to keep banging on about this, but it's going to get boring for you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it because this idea of a cyberpunk world where everyone has tabs on everyone, and realistically they do. Apart from like all the illegal stuff, it just feels like, I don't know, it feels odd. It's like, ooh. That for me was the biggest mystery. So I didn't really care about the guy. I was like, oh, what's going on here? How come there is like this happening? It's just cool. It's badass, like I said. And it's just kind of creepy. It's kind of eerie. I think Krake can write a really good horror set in this universe, kind of this world. I don't know if cyberpunk horror books, they have to be a thing. But I'm going to have a look into that. I am going to look into that. But like, I don't know, I just found it really creepy, quite unnerving, quite but I did thoroughly enjoy it, and this element then crops up throughout the book. Like I said, it crops up towards the end. I mean, spoilers, I don't know, it's just sort of an ongoing theme. It's really cool, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now I keep going to talk about different things, but then I realise it's like a key element, and it's just going to spoil, the mystery, it's going to spoil the ending, it's just going to spoil the book. So I'm going to leave it there. So, what do I think about the book? The book's good. And it's written by somebody who actually cares about what they write in, you know. And you might find like the odd typo, the odd grammatical mistake, but it's not enough to sort of draw you out. I can't think of any off the top of my head now with some books where like the grammar's like bad enough that it's funny. I'll remember something, I'll be like, oh yeah, this happened. You know, for instance, one book mistyped like rifle as a riffle within like the first paragraph. And it was kind of like, oh, but like with this book on, it's actually it's well written, like, it's enjoyable. The story itself is well paced, the characters are nice. I mean, you just sort of have your favourites, and that's that. You know, the characters are good, they're well written, they're nice. Like I said, the story, great, the themes, the Faceless thing, still, it's sort of like the lack of identity. I keep mentioning it, it's because it's just stuck with me, it's cool, it's interesting, it's, like I said, it sets up the world for great little horror vibes, like odd, unnerving, it's fun. I enjoyed the book, and I would recommend it, and I say that honestly because, you know, I haven't posted in ages. I was like, okay, I've been talking with the author, and I was like, I do actually need to get this video out. So I saw I was gonna do it tomorrow, and that's how it always goes. I'll do it tomorrow. But I was like, no, actually I'm just gonna do it today because the book is good. The book is genuinely good, and I just wanted to get a word out there for everybody else to see that the book is good, you know? Because it is. Now I give this book a cheeky 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I think that's fair. It's a good book. And the best thing is the author's a great guy. The author's really friendly. He's really cool. We've been talking, and you know, he's even got some works lined up in the future. The artwork looks pretty spot on. Looks pretty cool, exciting. But yeah, you know, if anything in this video has piqued your interest, if you sat there thinking, oh, that sounds good, or you're thinking, oh, I don't normally like Cyberpunk, but this book sort of it piques my interest, feel free to pick it up, my guy, because it is actually good. And for the price, it's a steal, especially if you got a Kindle, because e-readers are next level, and I don't know, I just love them. I might do a video on them, I don't know. But yeah, that's about it, so I'm gonna leave you there. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like, feel free to comment. Don't forget that you just lost the game, and I'm gonna see you when I see you. So take care, guys. Bye bye.